Hello, my name is Toby Garbett and welcome to the Youth Sport Trust After School Club. Now, I'm so glad to be with you this evening, and the Youth Sport Trust have decided, because of coronavirus, that we're going to put on an after school club 5 o'clock every weekday Friday, every weekday all the way through, and I'm Friday today. So I hope you really enjoy this evening. Now, you may be able to guess what my Olympic sport was. That's right, I've got some oars, and I've got one up, little one up here. Now, rowing is the ultimate sport because we're squaring and feathering the blade, putting it in the water, taking it back out. And you have to do that about 250 times all the way down the Olympic course of 2,000 meters. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that as we go through this evening, but we're going to go on a journey. We're going to go on a journey right from the source of where the River Thames starts, and we're going to meander all the way down the river, past some amazing historical sites. We're going to take in Oxford, we're going to go past Windsor, and we're going to go all the way through to Southend-on-Sea. We're going to end up in the sea, okay? And on our journey, we're going to have to be really athletic because we're going to have to come over obstacles as we go through. So before we do that, we've got to make sure we warm up. So all we're going to do to start with, we're just going to start stepping. Okay, now step's really important because we've got to think about the space. So the S of step, the space around us as we start stepping to start warming up. Now we've only got time, we've got 30 minutes this evening, or probably about 28 now, to make sure we try our hardest, okay? Now, equipment this evening, you don't really need any equipment, okay? We just need to think about our body parts at different points, okay? So this evening, we're going to be dealing with our hands and feet, our bottom, on our back, okay? And sometimes we're going to be on one leg and sometimes we're going to have our legs together, okay? So we're just going to be thinking about our body parts. Now, it's really important in sport that we've got a really strong core, okay? So if you can imagine you're on a canoe and you fire a big cannon off that canoe with a big cannonball in it, if it's got a really unstable surface, it's not going to hit its target and it's going to be really useless. So that's what we're like in sport. We need to make sure we've got a really strong core, okay? So that's really, really important for us as we go through. So you might be doing these activities in your living room, you might be in your kitchen, you might be in your bedroom, you might even be outside, I don't know, okay? But it's really important that if you're unsure about any of the exercises this evening, that you touch in with an adult that you're with this evening. Now, at the Youth Sport Trust, we want to try and get as many people involved as possible, okay? So at the end of the evening, we want a big Y for Youth Sport Trust to try and get a nice picture on Instagram, on Facebook, okay, or on Twitter using Youth Sport Trust, okay, and using the hashtag YST after school, okay? So that's what we're going to do. Now, back to that little bit of a journey. Now, we need to get ourselves, okay, nice and warmed up, okay? So we're going to start now doing some fast feet, okay? It's a little bit quicker with our feet, okay? It's a nice fast feet because we've got a big rowing adventure for us to go on today. So we're doing our nice fast feet. Let's do 20 of them really quick. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Great work. Now, what else can we do with our feet? We can do our walking on our heels. Okay, so we're going to imagine we're a bit like a penguin walking. So we're going to be on our heels doing our penguin steps, okay? So we're going to do our penguin steps. Now, if you can't do these because you're sitting down, you're welcome just to use your arms if you're sat down for our fast walking, or even use your arms to do your pigeon steps with the heel of your hand. So heel of feet walking around, doing our penguin walks to warm up. I feel like I'm getting really out of breath. Now, a more active animal, even more so than the penguin, is probably the frog. So we're now going to do our little frog jumps on our feet. We're going to turn our feet out a little bit wider, and this is where we're using our hands and feet as we touch the floor, and we're bouncing around. Let's do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, back into our light feet again, just jogging. Okay, so what have we been so far? We've been that penguin, we've been our frog. Okay, I think it's time to be a little bit of a slower animal. So we're going to be our inchworm. So what you're going to do, you're going to stand up nice and straight, chin onto chest, you're going to roll all the way down to your toes, and you're going to walk out to your inchworm. So you're going to walk out all the way as far out as you can with your hands, and then you're going to inch your feet into your hands. And then you're going to stand up, legs together, reach all the way up to the stars, and then turn around and do that again. Here we go, down we go, all the way to the floor, walking ourselves out. Okay, and then we're going to inchworm ourselves in. Stand ourselves back up again. Spin around. Here we go again. Up nice and tall, and down we go. Roll down our spine. And then we're going to come all the way out. And then we're going to squeeze our bottom, and then we're going to come all the way in. Legs together. And then stand up nice and straight. A bit like a swimmer, streamlining all the way through. And if you eat really good food, you'll grow really big and you'll be able to touch your ceiling as well one day. Now, we're doing really well. I think we've got one more animal that we could be. Okay, now, we're going to end our story, our journey today on the beach. So I think it's time to pretend to be a bit of a crab, okay? So we're going to be our little crab. So we're going to come down onto the floor, we're going to lift our hips up, okay? And then we're going to do a sideways crab walk down the beach. Okay, hips up. Now, I'm telling you I'm getting tired because my hips end up down here. So we're going to drive our hips up again, and we're going to do our little crab. Come on, everyone doing their crab. I want you to try and see if you can get brothers and sisters involved. Okay, maybe even get your parents involved. And the Youth Sport Trust are going to be doing some big shout outs to anyone who can then post their why, and maybe even get their class involved at school. Okay. So we're doing our little crab, moving forwards and backwards. Okay. I'm definitely feeling a bit warmer. I'm going to go for my little drink of water. So if you haven't got your drink, it might be a good time to quickly get one. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my sport of rowing. So I think rowing is the ultimate sport because of the teamwork of moving together, okay? And you can even just practice this. A little bit of moving together like this. Now, what I would love is that when we're rowing this evening down the Thames, is that we're all moving together at the same time, because it'd be fantastic to have all of you out there following what I'm doing right here. Okay, so I think I love that sport because it's so important with teamwork. And even if you're just a single sculler by yourself in your own living room or lounge or wherever you happen to be, you still have a team of people around you that help support you with everything you're doing in your life. And that's the same as the sport of rowing. Now, we're going to start our journey. So are you ready? Okay, we need to get ourselves to the Youth Sport Trust Boat Club. So we need to get to it. And that boat club is in the wilderness. It's up in a place called Lechlade, up in the Cotswolds. So we need to get ourselves running. We need to get there, okay? So we're all just doing a nice little jog together because we need to get ourselves to the boathouse, okay? And we can't drive, okay? So we're going to get ourselves to the boat club. Now, because it's up in the middle of nowhere, okay, or at least in the country, there's lots of trees, there's lots of branches to get through. And because it's not big, the river, when you get up there, it is by the time it gets to London, but it starts off very small. We've got to get ourselves through the woods. So we're going to use our back, we're going to bend down to get underneath the branches. So here we go. We're going to bend down to get underneath the branches and then back into our little jog again through the woods. Another big branch coming, so let's bend down. You can go the other way. Back into our little jog. Okay, good, nice flat back. Bend down again with me, that's it. We're back into our jog again. Whew. Going through the wood. Now we've got some low branches. Okay, so we've got to do a little hop to get over those branches. And then we've got some higher ones, we've got to get underneath those. And we've got to do another little hop again, and another little hop, like it. And then we're going to go under another branch. I can see another 2 coming up. Here we go, hop over, 1. And a big one, hop over 2. And now we're going to have to go really low. We're going to bring our bottom down low to get under that other branch. And then another one, nice and low to get under that one. Okay, we're coming into the clearing now, and it's just opening up. Okay, we're just coming into the boat club now. That's right along the towpath. And rest. Good. Okay, so when you get to a boathouse, the boats are sometimes up high and sometimes they're down low. And sometimes we've got to bend down. Just have a little practice for that with me now. Sometimes we've got to bend down low with our bottom to pick up our rowing boat, or we've got to reach up high. Okay, we've got into the boat club and I can see our boat. It's right up here. Okay, so we're going to have to bring our legs together. We're going to have to reach up nice and tall to get hold of it. Okay. And we're going to lift it down together. We're going to walk it to the river. So here we go, guys. So nice reach up for me. We're going to grab that boat up high, and then we're going to walk it over, tiptoe, walking it over above our head, and we're going to walk it towards the river, and then we're going to slowly bring it back down to our waist, okay? Now from here, we're going to bend our back, nice deep squat. We're going to put the boat into the water and place it in the water. Fantastic. Oh, one thing, we've forgotten our oars, okay? We've forgotten our oars. Now we've put the boat in the water and it could flow away. Well, we need oars to be able to go rowing. So quickly, back onto your feet again. Let's go, let's jog in again. Run back to the boathouse to get our oars. We're going to grab our oar and then we're going to place it back down, okay? So at this point, we're going to do a little bit of rowing, and we're now going to get into our boat, okay? So we get into our boat. So we're going to come down into this position to get into our boat. Okay, now we're in our boat. We're in a really good position to start a bit of rowing. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of rowing forwards and backwards. Forwards and backwards, okay? So here we go. So we have our knees bent in, we're reaching forwards, and we're taking a stroke. We're looking at that U Sport Trust Y shape with our hands out here, and then we're taking a big stroke. So just with me, that's long, powerful strokes just to start with, bringing the hands in and out, and it's left hand on top of right hand as you're rowing forwards and backwards. And we're just on our bottoms here as we go forwards and backwards. In Great Britain, some of the best rowers in the world, and I was world champion on 2 occasions, okay? And I had to work really hard for that, okay? Now, as we're rowing along here, as I said to you earlier, the river's really thin and narrow. So as we're rowing along, it can sometimes get lots of rapids, okay? And it can get a little bit risky, okay? So as we're going along, it starts to get a bit poppily, the water, and it gets to get a bit wibbly wobbly. The boat gets a bit wibbly wobbly as we're going. We need lots of balance and core strength, but sometimes it doesn't matter, and sometimes we fall in, and that's what happens in rowing. And sometimes we fall in and we've just got to try and get back up again. So we're going to fall into the water, and we've got to get back into our boat. So we need to now do a bit of swimming, okay? So we're going to get onto our front, because the fastest stroke is front crawl. We're going to practice our kicking. So we're going to kick our legs forwards and backwards as fast as we can, just to practice our kicks. Here we go. Feet, kick, 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 kick. Alternating one leg and then the other. But that's no good, because we need to use our arms as well. So we're going to do both at the same time. And we're going to do our kick, 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 kick. To swim as fast as we can. Hands and feet. Hands and feet as quickly as we can. Swimming as quickly as we can. Let's point our toes to go a bit faster. We need to get to our boat. Swimming, 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 swimming. And we get to our boat. Excellent work. I'm going to come back up. Right, we've found our boat and we're going to get back into our boat again. But we're a bit wet. I'm a bit wet. I don't know about you, because I've just been swimming in the river. So I'm just going to shake myself off a little bit. So let's just shake one leg out there, get that water off. And let's shake the other leg out, just get that water off. and then we're going to shake our hands out, and then we're going to see if we can do both together, just to get that water, hands and feet off. Woo! Okay, we're going to back rowing again. So here we go, back to our nice wide position with our arms. And we're going to do our nice rowing down the river. Now we've done really well. We've made some good progress, even though we have fallen in so far. Okay, but we're going to keep on going down the river. Try and just move with me forwards and backwards, nice and easy as we go in. Okay, so we've avoided the rapids, and we're sitting in that nice V-sit position with our strong tummy, okay? Now, we'll get back in the race and we're getting that nice low pressure. We're going through Oxford now, which is fantastic and famous for its library, okay? And we're going to arrive in a place called Henley-on-Thames, which is actually where I am now. And it's famous because it has a royal regatta. And what's happened, we're rowing along and we've arrived at the start of the race, okay? And the starter has gone attention go. And we found ourselves in a race. So we're going to speed up now, and we're alongside two other boats as they go down the course. And we weren't meant to be in this race, but we find ourselves in it anyway. So we're going to go forwards and backwards as quickly as we can, okay? And you know what? We're just going ahead at the moment as we get through to halfway. And this is where it gets really tough, and you need to be mentally tough to make sure you get the very best out of yourselves. Okay, so we're going to carry on going. And we're just going into the lead now, and we just go through the finish line. Everyone do a big Y shape like this. Woo! Excellent. And we're going to put our hands. The other two crews have stopped. We're carrying straight on because we're going to go to the sea. We're carrying straight on because we're going to go to the sea. Okay, now, unfortunately, we've got to stop at locks. So we've got to get out, we've got to lift our boat back up again, because we can't just row all the way down in one go. So we're going to get our bottom really nice and close to the floor, and we're going to pick our boat up, okay, and we're going to walk it to the next lock. So we need to walk it over the lock, and then we put the boat back in at a slightly lower level. We put the boat back in again with our nice flat back position. We put it back into the water. Okay, well, before we get back in the boat, we take this opportunity to have another little bit of water and a little bit of a break. Okay, guys, we're doing fantastically well. And I was watching Nolly yesterday, our rugby player, England rugby player playing yesterday. And I was also watching Rachel, our Thai boxer, the day before that, and then Jenna. We've had some fantastic shout-outs. One of the shout-outs has been from a girl called Molly Orr, which sounds like it's a joke shout-out because surely she can't be called Orr with me doing rowing today, but apparently she is. We've got Izzy Simpson as well. We've got Willie and Ferdy, Jack and Felix, Daniel and Ruby, and then we've got South Cambridgeshire Schools Sports Partnership in Cambridge. So well done to them, because I know they were following the rugby yesterday. I know Daniel had a really good picture of him with his rugby ball above his head, so well done to him as well. So that's fantastic. And if you guys post a nice picture this evening at the end of the workout of you with your big Y, we'll also give you a shout out on Monday. It'll be me on Monday. Now, not too much talking, because we've got to get back. Now, the reason we were on a race tonight, which I didn't fully explain, is that we've got to get to a lock called Teddington Lock. And that's where the tide flows in and back out to the sea again. So it comes all the way in through London and flows back out again. Now, if we get there this evening at 5:24, we'll be able to be in a position that we can get the best use of that tide, and that will shoot us straight out to the river. So we need to get back into the boat and start rowing again. So here we go. We've had our water. We're going to get back into our boat and start doing a little bit more rowing again. Okay. So let's get back in. I think 20 strokes should get us to Windsor, okay, where the Queen is. So here we go. 1, 2, excellent work. 3, long strokes. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're just coming up to Windsor. 11, 12, keep going. 13, push those legs down. 14, 15, 16, 17, I can see the castle alongside me, 18, 19 and 20. And I can just see the Queen. So we're going to get out and give the Queen a little hello. So we're going to get out of our boat. We're just going to leave our boat just by the side where we go to see the Queen. So we've got a couple of options of meeting our Queen. We're going to do a little flat back bow position, or we've got our little curtsy lunge. So we're going to practice both of those. So we've got a nice flat back bow position, or we've got our little curtsy lunge. Here we go, flat back bow, or our curtsy lunge to meet the Queen. We've got our flat back bow, or our curtsy lunge, okay? Now we've got ourselves a bit carried away here, because while we've been meeting the Queen, having a little bit of a tea, our boat's drifted away. That's not great, because we really need our boat. And I can see it going downstream out towards Richmond and Teddington. So we need to get ourselves, now, we're not going to get wet again, so I think we should run. So we're going to run down the towpath, okay? Now, the river's right here, so what we need to do is just run as fast as we can. Now, we've got to make sure we stay 2 meters within people, so every now and again, we might need to jump over to the other side. We'll do a little hop from one side to the other. If you can't do a hop side to side, just do a little jump in one space, it's fine. So we can do a little hop to go from one side to the other, and we're going to jog down that footpath that runs all the way down the Thames pathway, all the way out to the sea. And we're going to jump across again to avoid these tourists, because there's loads of tourists when you get to Windsor, because they love to come and visit the Queen and the castle. And we're going to jump across again, and we're jogging and jogging, and we're just getting a little bit further away now from Windsor, so it's not as busy anymore. So let's keep jogging, come on, come on. Can't quite see the boat, but so we better go a little bit faster. Here we go. A few more people coming up. So I'm going to have a little hop over the river and do a little jump over the river and just follow that pathway down. Jump again. Excellent work, and jump again for me. We're doing really well. That's it, fantastic work. Fantastic work, keep going. Okay, good news. We've made it as far as Richmond, okay? But I still can't see the boat. So we need to try and catch it up somehow. So I've seen a couple of big logs in the water. And so I suggest we get onto those logs and we paddle as fast as we can to see if we can try and catch up with our boat that's in the water, okay? And hopefully, if we try and do that quickly in the next couple of minutes, we're going to make it all the way. So here we go. We're going to get onto our logs on our front here, and we're going to do our paddling, okay? So we're going to do our paddling forwards and backwards paddling. So you can either do 2 hands at the same time, or you can do alternate one, then the other. So you're paddling from side to side on those logs, those big logs that you see all the time, actually, if you're a rower, on the water, and you always wish or hope you don't hit them when you're rowing along. Okay, so we're paddling now. We've arrived at Teddington Lock, and it's picking up speed because we're getting close to where the river turns around, or the tide turns around, we go a bit faster. So that's great news as we're going along like this. Okay, and I can now see our boat, the U Sport Trust boat. So I can now see it. So I'm going to come off my log. I'm going to sit myself back into the boat again. Okay, I'm going to sit myself back into the boat again. Okay, let's go back into our rowing stroke. And let's see if we can do this really good together, because we're doing fantastically well. And we're now going past where the famous Oxford and Cambridge boat race starts and finishes at Kew and Putney. And as we go along here, we're looking really good. Lovely technique. And we're thinking about our legs being used as much as we can here, because rowers use about 60% of the effort comes via the leg. Okay, so then you're just overlapping the back and arms as you're going along. Now, we've got a couple of sights to see as we go down the river. We've gone past Putney, but the only thing we've got to be look out for is sometimes the river taxis, okay, as we come up to the Tower of London. So the river taxis make loads of waves. So we need to balance. So we're going to take our feet now off the ground into like a V-sit position. And we're going to try and see if we can row, bringing our feet off the ground. Our balance has to be really good as the waves sometimes buffet us from one side to the other. So we've got to be really good as we're rowing along in this position. If that's too difficult, don't worry, just keep those feet on the floor and just carry on going. But if you want to take your feet off and try that balance element, that's really good. Now we're just coming up to the Tower of London and they've opened the bridge for us. So we're going over that bridge now and we're rowing up some tourists alongside and they're taking a photo. So let's do a big cheese, just to take that photo on the bank. Okay, we've got one massive landmark to go past, okay? And it's called the Thames Barrier. It's really important and it keeps us nice and protected from floods. And we keep going out. I think we get past this Thames Barrier, we've got about another 20 strokes and that's going to get us all the way out to the sea. Okay, are you with me, team? Here we go. Together, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Round of applause, everyone. We've made it to the North Sea at Southend-on-Sea. So that's a fantastic moment to get ourselves out into the sea. So well done, everyone, for getting all the way out to the sea. Honestly, you've done fantastically well. We're going to stand up now and we're going to have one more drink. And we're going to do a little bit of stretching. So we're going to do a nice stretch of our arm where we reach up, we pull that elbow back behind us to get that nice stretch in that position. Well done, everyone. Fantastic work. We found ourselves all the way out in Southend-on-Sea and we've taken that couple of 100-mile journey all the way down the River Thames this evening. So well done with that other arm for me. Now, we've got another journey to go on Monday, and I'm going to really looking forward to seeing you on Monday for the next instalment, okay, of our YST after school sort of club that we're doing here. Please follow us with the hashtag YST after school, and feel free to use the U Sport Trust Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram handle. It's a nice stretch here with the shoulders, because that's really important. And don't forget, we've got our big Y. So I'm going to do a big Y now here, and you could take a nice photo or a still in that big Y shape, okay? And it's our Y with our big arms for the U Sport Trust. So we're just going to finish off stretching here. We're doing a nice stretch all the way over the back here. Really good one, stretching those hamstring muscles here, which are those muscles at the back of the leg. And that's really important to be able to get that good tilt forwards as a rower. That nice stretch all the way over in that position. I also want you to have a little think about some of the other athletes that are going to be joining us. So we've got a Venture Monday, and then we've got nice Tuesday play, imaginative play with Kate, and then we've got Wild Wednesday with Nolly, and then we've got competitive activities with some Alistair and Thinking Thursday, and then we've got Fun Friday again, but with Rachel this time, okay? So please join in for those next week, and I can't wait to tell you a little bit more about the journey on Monday. So I hope you've enjoyed that this evening. I'm wishing you all the best. Have a great weekend. Well done for your rowing workout this evening. I hope you really enjoyed that and you got to use those different body parts to get a really good workout. Tell your friends about it. And I look forward to seeing you on Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone. See you later and good night.